Legends of Christmas. And here are two people on my naughty list, Neil and Chris.
Hello, welcome to Urbane Legends, our Christmas mini-series, the 12 Legends of Christmas. We're still currently trapped in, snowed in Neil's bunker in his back garden. I'm Chris Flynn, and with me is my fellow prison...
Neil Herbert.
Hi, Neil. I don't know about you, but I'm missing my houseplants. I find them very calming, and I'm worried about them drying out.
Yes, yeah.
Do you have any houseplants?
Well, not down here in the bunker, no.
No, you've just got that Pingu nightlight. That's quite nice.
Reassuring, isn't it?
It is reassuring. It is starting to get to me a little bit, to be honest. I mean, I'm not really kind of an out-and-about person, but I do like the option of having non-recycled air.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit claustrophobic.
And I think maybe the toxins from the prison-style toilet wine are starting to build up in my system. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be consumed over multiple days, but hey, if it's good enough for the fine inmates of whatever.
If it's good enough for people on Oz, it's good enough for us. Well, we've just so people know, we've started a game of Risk because that can take days. So hopefully that'll distract us for a little while. But yeah,
got my own Sevastopol. I'll tell you that much.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
We will.
You shouldn't have told me that. I'll have to start massing troops unless this is a bluff.
Yeah, well, that's the
game,
isn't it? That's the game.
That is the game. It's really difficult to break out of Australia. That's what I find. You know, it's very, very tough. I've not played Risk in a while, to be honest. I can't really remember. So we're going to look at another urban legend today, and this time it's not one of Santa's bad boys.
Santa's motorcycle gang.
Santa MC. Santa MC. No, this time it's from the Hellenic world. And it's the
ancient Greece.
Yeah. It's Kallikantzaroi.
Easy for you to say.
It is. So the Kallikantzaroi is a malevolent goblin in Southeast European and Anatolian folklore.
Anything to do with trying to make children behave at Christmas?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Well, I don't know.
The odds are.
That kind of stuff tends to come from Germany, basically, doesn't it?
Yeah, largely they don't like that stuff. I mean, I think as well, though, with a lot of the kind of like nature spirits and stuff, a lot of them, could be like good or they could be bad. But I think when the church came in, they kind of made them all demons and stuff.
Whereas they were actually kind of more kind of ambivalent.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Shades of grey.
Like playful and could, might aid you or might do something,
So, stories about the Kallikantzaroi or its equivalents can be typically found in Greece, Bulgaria, Turkey, Serbia, Albania, Bosnia, and Cyprus. Kallikantzaroi, which is the plural, are believed to dwell underground but come to the surface during the 12 days of Christmas, from 25th of December to 6th of January, from the winter solstice for a fortnight, during which time the sun ceases its seasonal movement.
It's like that movie Pitch Black.
I've not seen it now. What happens in it? Is it?
They're all on planet, yeah. And there's a moody convict,
right?
Like,
was that Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel. It's his breakout role, yeah. And but then what happens? They have an eclipse, and then the planet becomes dark for like 3 weeks, and then all of the aliens come out to haunt people.
Oh, really?
But it's all right because
he can see in the dark.
He can see in the dark, and he's tough lad. So
why can he see in the dark?
He had his eyes done because he just a lot of vitamin A because he's very health conscious.
Right.
A lot of press ups and yeah. No, I think he's something like he's meant to have his eyes because he's used to being in prison where they stick him in the dark. The real hardcore bad prisoners.
So he got his eyes done.
So he got his eyes done so he could see in the dark. Yeah.
Like cats.
Yeah.
So, etymology. It's always the fun part.
Oh, I like to know the history of the word.
The term Kallikantzaroi is speculated to be derived from the Greek Kallikantzaroi, which means beautiful centaur. Although this theory has been met with many objections. A second theory proposes that the word comes from the Turkish Kallikantzaroi, which is werewolf or vampire, from kara, black, and konkolos, which is bloodsucker or werewolf. Mm-hmm. So, Greek folklore. It is believed that Kallikantzaroi stay underground, soaring the trunk of the world tree, so it will collapse along with the earth. God, big ambitions.
That's not great, is it?
It's not great.
Is that sounds like a bit of Norse mythology as well, isn't it? I can't pronounce it, but what is it?
Odin.
Yeah, no, he got one of them got hung on the tree of life or something.
Yeah, I think it's quite a broad one, isn't it? The tree of
Ysir or something like that. I can't possibly pronounce it, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in many cultures, to be fair.
However, according to folklore, when they're about to see the final part, Christmas dawns and they're able to come to the surface. They forget about the tree and come to bring trouble to mortals.
Yeah. We're actively trying to destroy the world normally, but Christmas time, everyone needs a tree. We'll just fuck with people.
Just go fuck with people. Finally, on the
Everyone's got to have a hobby.
On the Epiphany, which is 6th of January, the sun starts moving again and they must return underground to continue their soaring. They see that during their absence, the world tree has healed itself, so must start working all over again. This is believed to occur annually. Oh no, it's healed itself again. It's like painting the fourth bridge or whatever, where as soon as they finish painting it, they have to start again.
Oh, the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again.
There's a lot of that stuff in Greek stuff, isn't there? Like people having to push boulders up hills, that kind of thing.
Sisyphus, yeah.
So, in appearance. So there's no standard description of the appearance of the Kallikantzaroi. There are regional variations as to how their appearance is described. Some Greek illustrators have imagined them with some animal parts, such as hairy bodies, horse legs, or boar tusks. Sometimes they're enormous, and other times diminutive. Mm. Other groups see them as small humans with a horrible odour. They are predominantly male, hence the odour, often with protruding sexual characteristics.
So far, like modern day Twitter.
Many Greeks have imagined them as tall, black and hairy, with burning red eyes, goat or donkey ears, monkey arms, and tongues that hang out of heads that are huge. Nonetheless, the most common belief is that they are small black creatures, humanoid apart from the long black tails, and said to resemble little black devils. They are also mostly blind, speak with a lisp, love to eat frogs, worms, and other small creatures. We've come up here to ruin your Christmas.
Got any frog legs?
Got any frogs around here? I'm starving. So,
a bit of protein.
So, lore. Kallikantzaroi are believed to be creatures of the night. According to folklore, there were many ways people could protect themselves during the day when the Kallikantzaroi were loose. One such method was to leave a colander on the doorstep to trick the visiting Kallikantzaroi. It was believed that since they could not count above 2, 3 was believed to be a holy number, and by pronouncing it, the Kallikantzaroi would supposedly kill itself. The Kallikantzaroi would sit on the doorstep all night, counting each hole of the colander until the sun rose and it was forced to hide. That's like the, was it the Rougarou? That couldn't count above 12 or something, and so it'd just get confused. You had left 12 pebbles on your windowsill or something.
It was one of these ones. I'm not sure it was a Rougarou. It might have been. Yeah, it's one of the.
I think it was a Rougarou.
Yeah, sounds about right. So he was trying to count the holes, but it couldn't go beyond 2. So it was 1, 2, another one, another.
If
2.
it counted 3, then it died because it's a holy number.
Yeah,
because of the trident of God.
Yes, the Holy Trinity. So, but he wouldn't have been able to count above 2.
Well, I think, I mean, it seems to be that there's 2 different reasons why it might.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's either massive, small, it's either hairless, hairy. Do you know what I mean? Yes.
We just didn't like salad, maybe.
It's many different things for many different people. It's an annual tradition, and some cultures throw lucamades, a donut-like dessert filled with syrup, and sausages on your roof and sing a specific song. Sausages on the roof.
Well, that's an episode of Breaking Bad.
It's believed that once this is done, the Kallikantzaroi will eat these and leave, returning to their work underground. Another supposed method of protection from the Kallikantzaroi is to leave the fire burning in the fireplace all night so they could not enter through it. In some areas, people would burn the Yule log for the duration of the 12 days. So that's where that comes from.
Mm.
In other areas, people would throw foul-smelling shoes into the fire as the stench was believed to repel the Kallikantzaroi, forcing them to stay away. It was a good way to get rid of teenagers' shoes.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, though. You're basically just having to stink out your own living room or whatever, your hearth.
Yeah.
Still, got to keep the goblins out.
Keep the goblins out now. That's what you always say.
These are called.
That's what that tattoo on your forehead says.
Well, you've seen Gremlins, Chris. You know what happens if you don't.
Yeah. Additionally, ways to keep them away include marking one's door with a black cross on Christmas Eve and burning incense. It sounds a nicer way of being.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the incense, to be honest with you.
Rather than the terrible smelling shoes.
Terrible, shitty old trainers.
So, according to legends, any child born during the 12 days of Christmas was in danger of transforming into a Kallikantzaroi during each Christmas season, starting with adulthood. It was believed the antidote to prevent this transformation was to bind the baby in tresses of garlic or straw, or to single the child's toenails. Don't know what that means. According to another legend, anyone born on a Saturday could see and talk with a Kallikantzaroi. One peculiarity that set the Kallikantzaroi apart from other goblins or creatures in folklore was it was said to appear on Earth only for 12 days each year.
Mm.
Their short duration on Earth, as well as the fact that they were not considered purely malevolent creatures, but rather impish and stupid, led to a number of theories about their creation. One such theory connects them to the masquerades of the ancient Rome winter festival of Bacchanalia, and the earlier, the Greek Dionysa. During the drunken, orgiastic part of the festival, people wearing masks, hidden under costumes in bestial shapes, yet still appearing humanoid, may have made an exceptional impression on the minds of the simple folk who were intoxicated. Mm-hmm.
Well,
maybe.
Possible.
It's possible. Possible, if not likely. In Greek, the term Kallikantzaroi is also used to describe a number of other short, ugly, and usually mischievous beings in folklore. While not used as the aforementioned creatures, it seems to express the collective sense for the Irish words leprechaun and the English words gnome and goblin.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of like goblin-y, leprechaun-y fellas.
Yeah. Don't have a pot of gold, though.
Well, no, apparently not.
I'm aware of.
They don't have a pot. You can't get a pot of gold. They're trying to destroy the earth.
Yeah, so. They'd just be trying to count it, wouldn't they, and getting confused. So.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, leprechauns are brighter, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so.
By the sound of it.
So, Serbian folklore. In Serbian Christmas traditions, the 12 days of Christmas were previously called the unbaptized days, and were considered a time when demonic forces of all kind were believed to be more active and dangerous than usual. The veil is thin during the unbaptized days. People were cautious not to attract their attention and did not go out late at night. The later precaution was especially because of the mythical demons called Karakondula, imagined as a heavy, squat, and ugly creatures. According to tradition, when the Karakondula found someone outdoors during the night of an unbaptized day, it would jump on the person's back and demand to be carried wherever it wanted. That's quite fun, isn't it?
It's good taxi service, yeah.
Yeah, right. Take me to the off license. Take me to the off license. I want to have a drink before I go clubbing because I want to save money when I'm in there. Prices are outrageous. The torture I wouldn't call this torture. The torture would end only when roosters announced the dawn. So you got to chip them around all night.
Yeah, all night.
At that moment, the creature would release its victim and run away. I mean, to be fair, that's not actually too bad.
No, I mean, it's not the worst. It would be annoying, but that's not the worst thing that could possibly happen if a demonic entity decided to sort of get involved with you. You could do a lot worse.
The Kallikantzaroi is known to punish and torment people who commit adultery. Oh, it's a bit judgy.
Yeah, well, you
don't know what's happening in their marriage.
Sides to the story.
Don't know what's going on, do you?
Yeah.
Adulterers were known to sneak out of their homes while their significant other would sleep. I mean, that's a risky move if you're doing your adultering, isn't it? Just because they
sneak out while they're asleep, be fine.
Yeah, because no one ever wakes up during the night.
No.
And then visit the person they were cheating with, or prostitutes or brothels. The Kallikantzaroi would sit and wait on top of the door frame of the front door of the house and jump on the back of the adulterer and lash him with a stick. Or scratch or dig its sharp nails into the person's back and neck and force them to run through a nearby forest at night. All night. Similarly, other accounts of the Kallikantzaroi would flee at the first sight of dawn. It's very much a backpack style attack, isn't it?
It's getting a lot of enjoyment out of basically just riding people around.
I'll be honest, so far I quite like them.
Yeah.
Quite like them. So this could be seen as a warning to would-be adulterers to think carefully about their intentions, desires, and understand the consequence that would occur if they were to fulfill such actions. In this version of the myth, the Kallikantzaroi would come back every night to remain on the door lintel until the adulterers confess their sins to their significant other.
Oh, well, there you go. That'd be an uncomfortable conversation. Why are you telling me? Well,
why have you got loads of leaves in your hair and scratches on your neck?
It's a long story.
Sit down. So, Anatolian Turkish folklore. The Kallikantzaroi is a malevolent creature in the northeast Anatolian Turkish Islamic folklore. It's a variety of bogeyman, usually merely troublesome rather than harmless, but sometimes truly evil. It is believed to have a thick, furry, hairy fur like a Sasquatch. According to the late Ottoman Turkish myth, they appear on the first 10 days of Zamiri, the dreadful cold, when they stand on murky corners and ask seemingly ordinary questions to passers-by. The legend states that in order to escape harm, one should answer each question using the word kara, which is Turkish for black, or risk being struck dead by the creature. It was also said in Turkish folklore that the Kallikantzaroi could call people out during the cold Zameri nights by imitating voices of loved ones. The victim of the Kallikantzaroi risked freezing to death if he or she could not awake from the charm. Not quite as fun, but it's weird that it just asks you questions. It's kind of like the Shaggy song, but you've got to say "kara."
It's just like a bit mischievous, isn't it?
But I mean, he is using some kind of hypnotism-y charms of imitating a loved one's voice to try and get you to freeze to death.
Yeah, I mean that's very extreme. It's
Bulgarian folklore.
Ooh.
The Bulgarian known of the demon is Kallikantzaroi. They may be conceived of variously, being human-like except for having a hairy body, a tail, and a large head with horns on it, or a one-eyed being standing on a single leg,
wow.
or a horse-headed man.
Why not? I mean, it's one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
It is considered a shapeshifter who may appear as a dog, a man, a sheep, or a calf. It is reputed to dwell in caves or rivers or an abandoned watermill and come out at night. That's very specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
Abandoned watermills. Well, I guess watermills were quite a big deal, weren't they, back in the day?
More of a feature in those days, I suppose, yeah.
Because that would be pre-industrial revolution, kind of the only way that you could mechanise a manual process would be kind of a watermill or windmill, wouldn't it? A Bulgarian custom called kukeri is performed to scare away the evil creature and avoid contact with it. And we've got Albanian folklore as well, Neil. In Albanian folklore, kukuth are undead corpses. I mean, this is it's quite broad.
It's quite a
it?
grab bag of different things, yeah.
Who go around in January laden with chains and effusing a deadly breath. Known also among Calabrian Albanians. According to another version, Kallikantzaroi is vested with iron clothes, which is why chainmail armour is known as Kemish Kallikantzaroi in Albanian. So those are the different versions of it. What are you making of it so far? Which one do you like the most?
I'm all about the one that just sort of
jumps
rides you around like a taxi. Yeah,
yeah, he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah,
I don't mind.
He's having a bit of fun,
Yeah, and also, I mean, he's a bit getting his nose in your business, though, isn't he? With the adulterous stuff.
What other crimes is he sort of?
That's it. He's just all about adultery. He don't care if you're a murderer.
Yeah, not bothered about that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Cheers on, if anything.
So, in popular culture, Kallikantzaroi are subject of the Grimm episode, The Grimm Who Stole Christmas. The narrator / protagonist of Roger Zelazny's novel This Immortal is a Greek born on Christmas Day. The book's first sentence is his new wife teasingly call him Kallikantzaroi, although she doesn't mean anything hostile by it. The reference comes up several times throughout the story. The word Kallikantzaroi has been applied to other representations of goblins or trolls when translated into Greek. For example, Gringotts Goblin from Harry Potter is referred to as Kallikantzaroi in the Greek translation. And a reference to the Kallikantzaroi of modern Greece is made in H.P. Lovecraft's novella, The Whisperer in Darkness, 1931.
There you go.
There you go, Neil. So, what do you reckon?
It's a nice little story.
Yeah. It's weird, the old...
But there's something different.
Tree of the World stuff, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, that whole, obviously it was good that they sort of tried to play mischief for 12 days, because otherwise, been over the world already.
World would be dead, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, that's that.
Do something about climate change now.
You see, all of these Christmas, I mean, obviously this isn't a big Christmas one for any of us. We don't know this.
No.
But the original St. Nicholas is from Turkey, isn't it? So kind of all the Christmas stuff kind of comes from Turkey. All the stuff we've looked at kind of comes from Turkey, and then by way of Central Europe, really, is kind of where it kind of got converted into what we know today via Coca-Cola International Corporation.
Yeah, well, that's something where Orthodox Church and stuff was, because it was Constantine was one of the first. I mean, when they converted the Roman Empire into sort of Christian one, then that was sort of all out in sort of Turkey, wasn't it? Constantinople. But all around that era, I guess.
Yeah. So,
roots of the church.
I think that's about all there is to say about it. I can't bother looking up anymore.
No, I mean, some of these are going to be brief. It is
getting a bit thirsty now. My stomach thinks my throat's been slit. I'm fancying a bit of toilet wine.
On the Pruno, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds all right, doesn't it? Nice bit of prison wine. And we'll continue our game of Risk. And we'll let everyone know how we're getting on tomorrow, when we'll be back with another one of our mini-series around the 12 Legends of Christmas, which finishes on the Epiphany. And hopefully Neil and I will be back in our own homes by then.
Our own epiphanies.
Otherwise, there could be trouble. All right. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, everyone, and we will see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Ho, ho, ho. See you tomorrow. Remember, don't drink and drive. Ho, 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 ho.